Have you ever wondered why doing the right thing can feel so difficult, so lonely? Why standing up for what you believe in sometimes means standing alone? If you've ever wrestled with these questions, then you need to meet a young girl named Scout Finch and her father, Atticus. Their story, told in Harper Lee's timeless classic, To Kill a Mockingbird, is more than just a book. It's a lesson in courage, empathy, and the quiet strength it takes to be a good person in a complicated world. Today, we're diving deep into the heart of Maycomb, a sleepy southern town where the heat of summer is matched only by the rising tensions of prejudice. And we'll see it all through the innocent, yet incredibly perceptive eyes of a 6-year-old girl. Scout Finch lives a seemingly simple life with her older brother Jem and their widowed father Atticus. Their days are filled with summer adventures, games, and a fascination with their mysterious neighbor, Boo Radley. But Scout's world is not just about childhood games. Her father, Atticus, is a lawyer, and he isn't just any lawyer. He's a man of unshakable integrity, a moral compass for his children, and, whether it realizes it or not, for the entire town. He doesn't lecture them with grand speeches. Instead, he teaches them through his actions, through quiet conversations on their front porch swing. He plants seeds of wisdom that will take a lifetime to fully blossom. He tells Scout, you never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb into his skin and walk around in it. This single piece of advice becomes the cornerstone of Scout's entire journey. It's a call for empathy, a challenge to look beyond the surface and see the humanity in everyone, even those who are different, even those who are feared. The peaceful rhythm of Maycomb is shattered when a deeply unsettling event occurs. Tom Robinson, a black man known for his kindness and hard work, is accused of a terrible crime he did not commit. In the racially charged atmosphere of the 1930s South, the accusation alone is almost as good as a conviction. The town needs a lawyer to defend him, a task most would shy away from, knowing it would bring scorn and ostracism. But Atticus Finch is not most men. He accepts the case. Not for glory, not for money, but because it is the right thing to do. He knows he can't win. He knows he will face the town's fury. But, as he explains to Scout, simply because we were licked 100 years before we started is no reason for us not to try to win. He is teaching his children the most profound lesson of all. Real courage isn't about holding a gun. It's about knowing you're beaten before you begin, but you begin anyway and see it through no matter what. Suddenly, Scout and Jem's lives change. The children they play with at school start calling their father ugly names. Adults, who once smiled at them, now glare with contempt. Scout, with her fiery spirit, wants to fight back. She doesn't understand, why do people hate us for doing what's right? She asks, her voice filled with the raw confusion of a child witnessing injustice for the first time. Why is her father, the man she knows to be good and honest, being treated like a villain? Atticus's response is patient, his resolve firm. He explains that sometimes people's hearts are hardened by prejudice and fear. But that doesn't give them an excuse to abandon their own principles. He encourages Scout to hold her head high and keep her fists down. He teaches her that true strength isn't found in retaliation, but in maintaining one's own integrity, even when surrounded by hate. He is showing her that the moral high ground can be a lonely place, but the view is clear. The trial itself is the climax of the story. The courthouse is packed, segregated by race, a physical manifestation of the town's divided soul. Scout and Jem sneak into the colored balcony, watching from above as their father stands alone in the arena below. And what a stand it is! Atticus delivers a masterclass in reason and justice. He methodically dismantles the prosecution's flimsy case, exposing the lies and prejudice at its core. He appeals not just to the law, but to the jury's conscience, to their shared humanity. For a moment, a brief, shining moment, it seems like logic and truth might actually prevail. He speaks of equality, not as a lofty ideal, but as a practical reality of the courts. He asks the jury to look at Tom Robinson not as a black man, but simply as a man. But the poison of racism runs too deep in Macomb. Despite the overwhelming evidence of Tom's innocence, the all-white jury delivers the verdict everyone expected: guilty. The sound of that word hangs in the hot, still air of the courtroom. It's a devastating blow, not just to Tom Robinson and his family, but to the very idea of justice. For Jem, his youthful idealism is shattered. The world is not fair. The good guys don't always win. He cries not just for Tom, but for the loss of his faith in the people of his town. Yet, in this moment of defeat, something extraordinary happens. As a dejected Atticus packs his briefcase and prepares to leave the courtroom, every single person in the colored balcony silently stands up as he passes. It's a gesture of profound respect, of gratitude. They know he lost the case, but they also know he fought for them, he saw them, he respected them when no one else would. A quiet voice from above says, "Miss Jean Louise, stand up. Your father's passing." And in that moment, Scout understands. Her father may have lost the legal battle, but he won a moral victory that echoes far beyond that courtroom. He showed that one person's courage can create a ripple of dignity and hope, even in the darkest of times. To Kill a Mockingbird is filled with these powerful moments. It's about more than just a trial. It's about Scout learning to see the humanity in Boo Radley, the neighborhood recluse everyone fears. She learns that the real monsters aren't the ones who hide in shadowy houses, but the ones who walk in plain sight, their hearts filled with hate. She learns that mockingbirds are creatures that do nothing but make beautiful music for us to enjoy, and that's why it's a sin to kill one. And she realizes that people like Tom Robinson and Boo Radley can be mockingbirds, innocent beings harmed by the cruelty of the world. So, why does this story, written over 60 years ago, still resonate so deeply with new generations? Because the questions it asks are timeless. How do we fight injustice? How do we raise our children to be empathetic and kind in a world that often isn't? How do we find the courage to walk around in someone else's skin before we judge them? Atticus Finch taught his children that standing for truth is often a lonely road, but it's the only one worth traveling. He showed them that true strength isn't about winning every fight, but about fighting the good fight, no matter the odds. The moral of this incredible story isn't just a simple platitude, it's a guide for living. Stand for what is right, even when others won't. Cultivate kindness, practice empathy, and hold on to fairness as your guiding star, because in the end, that is what makes you strong. That is what makes you human. To Kill a Mockingbird reminds us that while the world can be ugly, the courage of one good person can shine a light bright enough for us all to see the way. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back to Maycomb. If this story touched you, or if you have your own favorite lessons from To Kill a Mockingbird, please share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the stories that shape us. See you next time.